Hello, welcome to the video. This is a video to suggest a pathway in learning Godot. So, if you're somebody who's new to game development entirely, or you're new to just Godot itself, and maybe you've dabbled with other engines, or you're also somebody who you're confidently getting through learning Godot, but you're sort of just trying to see where else you can take your learning and maybe have like a checklist to, oh, this I could do this and I could do this. This is the video for you. And I would also like to say that this is not the video that teaches you how to use the engine. It's the video that suggests how to learn the engine. So that's an important distinction there. I want to make sure that's clear there. So this is just the thing that I ended up doing is sort of based on my own experience. This is what has worked for me, and I feel quite confident in what I do now using the engine. So hope you can too. So yeah, I've got essentially 4 steps if I break it down, right? And the 4 steps essentially are to start with understanding the engine, just as like a whole, just a quick one, to get introduced basically, and then the next step, the second step, step 2, is to get exposed to the fullest extent of what GDScript is capable of. GDScript is the scripting language that you would use, the programming language in Godot. So, keyword for you. The third one would be to visit only a few high quality tutorials. And then the fourth one, which is the big one, and I think is the one that you will spend the most time on, it's to create daily throwaway projects. And it is where the real fun is, in my opinion. So we'll get into it now. So let's start from the start. Mm. So, starting with number 1, the first step, which is understanding the basics of the engine. Now, one badly kept secret is that Godot's documentation is actually really good. So it's almost joked about at some points, that it's good. It's good. You can learn a lot from it, and there are 4 pages in this first step. 4 pages I want to suggest to have a look at, and I will get links to them somewhere, wherever YouTube magic works. That there will be links, and the places are the all in the Godot documentation getting started section. First one is the introduction. This introduction is purely, it's a nice formal introduction to what you're looking at. If you've never used the engine before, great place to start. Then we're going to move into the step-by-step page. And this is the part where we're actually, the things that we got introduced to, we'll just do something practical. It's nice to get hands-on with this. And I think this is also a very key thing in what I want to talk about here. All of this is about being quite hands-on with learning this. So we will touch on that again later. Then the final 2 pages are going to be your first 2D game and your first 3D game. And these are both pages you could do. I think you can do these in any order, but you will notice that they're both quite similar in their content. So you can kind of learn that the way Godot handles things, there's a method, there's a way, and welcome to this way. You're sort of starting to see it now. And yeah, so in this step, let's get excited and let's go check out your new tools. This is it. Have a play about with it and report back when you're done. I'll wait. I'll wait right here. Just pause it. No, it's okay. Just whenever you're good, we'll carry on. So, I I'm hoping that sort of by the end of just those 4 pages, just looking at those 4 pages alone, it will give you enough of a basic understanding of what Godot actually is, and just you know now where to look if you need to find something specific. It's the documentation. It's the thing you're looking at. It was these pages. They're really helpful. It's just nice to see it. It'd be a shame if you didn't know that and you're trying to use the engine without knowing. So yeah. One I wanna put forward one tip, and that tip is essentially if you're looking at something online about Godot. This is going to come up a lot later anyway, but if you're looking up something and it's old, make sure that you're probably using Godot version 4, and you might be looking at something which is Godot version 3. And it'll be like 3 point da 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 da, and you're using 4 point da 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 da. And it's not crazy different, but there might be some fundamental differences that make the thing that you're seeing not actually work. But it's just a little thing to keep in mind. Just a little might catch you out. But yeah, the latest and greatest versions are at the minute anyway. It's Godot 4, and it's carrying on from there. So yeah, that's just one little tip I wanted to put forward. Now, if we've gone this far, we've just looked at the introduction, and now it comes up to step 2 of this get amazing program. And that that step is to just get exposed to the full extent of GDScript. All right, and I'm gonna sort of actually clarify what I mean by that, because I do pick my words there specifically. And this is the time that we're going to get a little codey, right? So in Godot, it's commonplace that you will use the engine's built-in language, which is called GDScript, and it's been likened to be very similar to Python, if you're aware of that sort of stuff. If you don't know programming and that kind of thing, that's okay. We learn somewhere, and I do think this can be a cool place to start in some ways. So yeah, I've got a recommendation of where to look. So it's a GDScript course, and I'll have a link for this as well. It's going to be somewhere, and maybe in the description of the video. Now, with this, it's a comprehensive course, right? Don't worry about trying to learn the whole thing and fully, thoroughly understanding it, okay? I myself only went up to episode 18 on this thing, and that was enough, to make me feel like, okay, I can sort of get started here. But I didn't understand everything, I didn't fully get, and I couldn't extremely well explain it to anybody what I was seeing and what I was doing. That is okay. Just in this stage of things, we're just going to expose ourselves to what it can do, the fullest extent, just to see it. Don't have to know it, just to see it. No need to, it might be quite easy to feel overwhelmed. It's okay. So, and a little recommendation when you are watching these things, if you feel brave enough to go about doing it, is just if you get told about a new thing, maybe it's like about data types or something like that, try and play with those. Open up a new file and try and change a string into a number and a number into a string, and do all of these little things. And when it goes wrong and you start googling things, maybe you'll find a solution, and maybe you've stumbled on something that gets really difficult, and it's like, where am I going with this? I don't know. It's okay. Take a breath. It's cool. We just want to see what it can do and have a go. Um, this is all part of the fun of learning. So yeah, don't worry about the depth for now. Just go break ground. Go see it. and maybe watch up to episode 18 of those videos I told you about. Yeah, and that's it. That's what I want to say for number 2. So, moving on to step number 3, visit only a few high quality tutorials, right? I picked these wordings very specifically, so, and I'm going to tell you about something most sinister, most awful and dire and scary. Okay, it's called tutorial hell. Yeah, it sounds really scary too, and yeah, tutorial hell in a nutshell is when people just watch tutorials and maybe they just copy what they see and then are kind of relying on those tutorials to do anything, right? So, which is, it can be great for, views, but it's not good for you because you're not standing up on your own 2 feet and doing your own thing. So, yeah, and this is the thing where like tutorials are not bad, but you'll only get trapped there if you're not doing things yourself. So this is why I want to suggest in this step to only visit a few, right? A few high quality tutorials, and you can have a Google towards like what you're after. I do have one recommendation, and it's well, I've got 2 recommendations now. So the one that I would definitely have recommended, and it's one that I used back in the day, was it's this making a text adventure game by Jimbiv. I apologize if the name's wrong. His name is Joe. I saw it on his YouTube channel, and this link will be somewhere. And this, I want to recommend this one because, again, you may not be wanting to make a text adventure game. It's probably not why you picked up Godot. Maybe it is cool, but if it isn't, anyway, it's fine. It's just more of that. This shows you kind of like the extent as to what Godot can do, like broadly. So in our introduction, we kind of the first step we got to just meet the engine and formally introduce ourselves to what it is. In the second step, we were looking at what the code can do. So I'm using my hands now. We get introduced to what the code can do, and then this third step is all about seeing what the whole engine, the engine as a whole can do. Like, how does it get used, right? So, and yeah, these tutorial videos as a series, it's, I think, probably the best ones I've seen, because not only does he go into, obviously showing you how to make this game, but also there are some parts where he creates a feature and it's not, it's there, but then later in the next episode or a later episode, he comes back to that feature and he tweaks a thing to make it talk to another area, and it's just it's just really good problem solving, a really good sort of compartmentalizing how you approach making a game, So I really recommend that one. The other video I really recommend, at the second, I haven't personally watched through a lot of it. I've skimmed through and I've seen a couple bits, but I am aware of the quality, and that is, of course, when people have been praising the legend of Brachy's making his fated return, and it was to Godot of all things. So good for us. So yeah, and they are really good. They're good videos. A reason I want to recommend Brachy's as well is because these videos were made for Godot 4, and the Jimbiv videos, sadly, they're made in Godot 3, which is not the latest at the minute, which means you can still follow it, but there might be some possible little things that might not work as you expect, or you might run into a really weird issue. I still think it's worth watching though, even if you're making in Godot 4, just to watch. Don't have to worry about copying these things. Just see what it can do, right? And now, maybe, yeah, copy along if you want to, but more to see what can be done. Now, final place, the final step, number 4. Okay, now this is the one for me that I do this all the time, and this is to create daily throwaway projects, right? So this is like you just every day you turn up to your dojo, right? Whoa, it's there. It's the tool set. You're you're creating art, right? This is it. This is your workstation. You just play your playground, right? It's really cool. And I mean, you don't have to do it every day, obviously, but it's just more of the idea is to create, create, create. Just keep creating and just, don't be afraid to, make a smudge. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid of what's the right way to do it, or this is the time where you just get really comfortable at seeing a blank project, right? And when you've got this like nice blank project, and you can, there's this moment of like, oh, what do I do? Like, there's, I could do anything, but like, what do I do? When we get comfortable with this sort of thing as well, this makes it really, like, really nice and easy to approach bigger games and projects at that point, because you're able to very comfortably be like, right, big thing, start with this tiny bit, tiny bit, tiny bit. So, yeah. Now, and also, like, Godot in itself anyway, and I think this goes for a lot of softwares in programming and such. Godot works extremely well when there's not a lot going on at once, right? And and what I mean by that is if you make something that's like like scenes, so Godot uh, composed of lots of scenes that you create. If you make these scenes and they're all really nice and self-contained, they're like making like they're making building blocks for your bigger game. So imagine how it is to, get really nice and comfortable with making smaller parts. That's what we're sort of aiming to get towards. And it might not make much sense right now, but in a nutshell, less complicated things are better. And forget the image of like the super hacker with like 4 screens going, but like but still do listen to like techno and stuff, because it's like really it's good, yeah. So just yeah, if just sort of review my notes here. So if we're just yeah, okay. Now the important bits here is to also like the other, I guess, like recommendation towards this is if you've made something and you want to carry it on the next day, I recommend actually just make a new project and try and make the thing again. And it's, in a way you're sort of like building up your muscle memory. You're getting familiar with what you do, and it's practice. It's practice. You're doing the reps. You're training, and you're just getting comfortable with your tools. You're getting comfortable with a blank screen. You're getting into a good place. So yeah, and I think it's really good. It's good to make lots of games in that sense. Like we call them games and little projects. And another like one reason, a big reason actually, I would like to say why this is a good idea before trying to make your like your epic MMORPG, with stories that span across like all sorts. If you want to know why, if you go to Google, look up John Romero, and you'll see who that is, and be like, oh, okay, right. And now look up what John Romero's 90th video game is. So 90, yeah. When you see that, and then it's not a bad idea to make little things and keep making little things. I rest my case. So yeah, and also on John Romero, there's he's done some fantastic like talks online on YouTube and such. If you just have a little look around, geek out about what we do, like look, go look into it. If you're getting into game dev, have a look, and it's quite insightful from his part as well. So yeah. Now with the whole step 4 thing of doing the daily thing, cool. I've just talked about it, but how do you sort of go about doing it, right? And I, just the ways that I sort of go about it. One way is I would just do like I just ad hoc sort of come up with these things. So if you're the creative type, you know, you you just want to like get a really tiny goal. So you start a new project, you open up a blank project, it's there, and then just be like, okay, I want to see a picture, yeah, and then in Godot, make it so you can see a picture, and run the game, and look, there it is, your picture, cool. And now, can you can I make the picture change color? You know, um, can I make the picture change color when I click it? Can I make the picture move? And can I make it like disappear maybe instead if I click it? Or, if I don't press it in 5 seconds, do I get game over? Technically it's a game, right? You've got it. So that's cool. And, one of the benefits of doing this is that you're practicing creating tiny ideas as well, and this is going to come in really handy when you sort of decide, I am going to make a big game now. I'm going to make a big game, but it's not going to be that big because you're sort of aware how to make scalable, tiny projects already. In a way, you already sort of you know what you're asking, of yourself when you try this. And another really good way of doing this, and another thing I quite like, and getting inspired by things that you see in other games. So, I like to try and maybe recreate features, right? And now there's something that's really interesting that happens here, and I want to talk about this quickly, which is, you know, I get the moment of being like, oh, I want to do that thing, right? I want to try that, and like, let's say it's an inventory system. I want to try and make that. I want to try, and we'll do this thing where I'll create all the GUI layout for it because I've like played about with control nodes and stuff, and I've done, I play about that and got the spaces for them, and here's the item, but what's the item? Like the item, well, the item's got to have a name, it's got to have a picture, and it's got to, maybe it's got like stats or a value or with like gold amount or something, and now I'm like, oh, how do I like? I need to create an item. Like, how do I do that? To make that nice. I can do placeholder stuff, but I would like to maybe create an item, and then I start trying to go into that. But then I've gone way off tangent. I'm no longer trying to make an inventory thing. I'm looking at how to make not even an item, but I'm trying to make like the way that like where the picture shows up. Where'd you keep it? So. And then my time's up for the day and I'm done, right? The next day comes, and I don't feel bad about that, by the way. It's good to go on a little learning tangent, uh, in this sort of thing. If you've got like goals and deadlines already, then, it might be a bit different. But in this, our daily dojo exercises, it's okay, right? And then the next day, I won't reopen that project. I'll make a new one. I'll start a new one, and this time I'll probably just try and make an item first, and then maybe play about with that. And maybe I realize, oh, maybe I can use the picture, and maybe the name. I can make the name, and maybe the name can relate to the stats. Maybe it could be like it's a long sword, or it could be a blessed long sword, and the stat would be like +5 damage to undead. It's like text flavor, but the spirit is there, right? And then if I get really good at doing that, and I've got that done pretty quick, oh, maybe I could try and organize several items together, in like an inventory system. What? So yeah, you sort of like trying to do these things, you sort of learn what things built from, and just don't be afraid to explore. Don't worry, like it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the depth of these things. That's okay. Just keep things small, keep your endeavors tiny but many. And yeah, that would be like my biggest part of that. And for things like that, I know I said about don't go to tutorials, but do do go see tutorials, but rather than like how to make an inventory system, instead maybe look up things like how to fix that very specific issue that I found when making an inventory system. Yeah, you get my drift, Try and look up the small problems that you're facing rather than the bigger concept as a whole on YouTube and such, and Google, Stack Overflow, that kind of stuff. So yeah, apologies. If you just heard that, that was my WhatsApp messenger. That was not yours. You're okay. You didn't get a message. And there you go. Uh, what else to say? Would like I'd like to reiterate here that I'm not saying don't make big projects, right? Because there's a lot to be learnt from making a big project, and in some ways you'd learn the most about programming as well when doing a bigger project, because you start to ask questions like architecture, good architecture, what's the good practice? How do I store my files, in a bigger project? How do I do that? And there's, you can do that, but I think and I don't advise against you doing it. I just want to suggest that a good time to start doing it is when you're comfortable making lots of little things. And the little things, as I said before, are together make the bigger thing, make the bigger project. So, that inventory system can come in useful, the practice of making it. And yeah, so that's something I do want to say. I'm personally learning. I've learned a lot from making in a bigger project. At the time of this recording, I'm working on a game at the minute. I started. This is a Brick Breaker Lightspeed, and I started this feeling like I was doing this, and I was on well into step 4, right? And I'm like feeling pretty confident that I can do this. I can make a bigger game, and I uh, I sat there. Well, I mean, it's been 9 months, I think, now of making it, and I had this huge update. This I've been like, I put it out, and it's and I'm making updates to it, but this huge update happened, and nothing really changed in the game for players to see. Really, it was just the whole code structure change because I started asking these questions, and I learnt new things, and I learnt how to use things better in more streamlined ways, and making my features a bit more scalable and easier to manage. So I had to undo the mad amount of spaghetti that I created. Spaghetti code is like, yeah, you look it up. You'll have fun. Yeah. So don't be scared. Do chase your dreams of make the bigger things, but I recommend making them when you feel comfortable making lots of little things. And make them little things work together. Oh my gosh, there you go. You're well on your way. So yeah, it's such a cool thing that we do, and it's very cool to be involved. So I want to give you some extra little parting tips now, and I would say get involved in the Godot community. There are Discord servers that are out there. Have a little look around, have a hunt, and you know, like geek out about what you do, because this is like we do cool stuff. This is like we make games. That is cool, right? So go have fun with that. And if you like one of the like I have to do a shout out for like one of these videos I do watch. like every now and then. It's a YouTube channel called Stay at Home Dev, and there's a YouTube series of 5 games made in Godot to inspire you. Now, I recommend you go and watch a couple of those, right? Get it embedded in your algorithm, right? Get it suggested to you because you, you know, it's just part of, like I was saying, part of geeking out. You're able to just sit back and like see the achievements that other people have done doing you're a part of this. This is what you do, and this is getting involved. Maybe check out what they do, and it could be inspiration for you too to think of that new idea of, oh, maybe I'll try and do this, or you know just yeah. Don't be afraid to just like sit there and go to YouTube and just search Godot and just look. It doesn't have to be a tutorial. Could be like, this is a showcase. This is this. This is that. Geek out. Enjoy. And yeah, that. I mean, I actually thought this was going to be a short video. If you're still here, cool. Well done. And this is really all I've got for you. Yeah. So if you like what you've seen, I've made a Discord, and please feel free to come on by, and you're welcome to let me know what your thoughts are, and yeah, it's a place to hang out. If you want to support me further in what I'm doing as well, I do have a Ko-fi as well. I'll link that somewhere, so please feel free to head over there too, and thank you as well in advance. Good luck on your Godot journey, yeah? Like, you do, it's such a cool thing. So, yeah, I I hope to hear of, I hope to hear stories of things that people have managed to achieve, doing this stuff. So go and enjoy. And yeah, good luck. Make cool stuff. Make fun. Have fun. And see you later. Bye, elegant YouTube exit. I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna just tip the camera up to the ceiling. Bye.